Hello and welcome to today's episode of Let's Be Nerds. I'm your host, Lizette, and I am joined by Steven, Gordon, Dylan, and Delaney. How's everybody doing today? Seems like the saltiness is at another high point once again.
We're all salty. We work in kitchens and other
You guys are
areas with
saltier than the
service.
Dead Sea. That's all I can say.
Just
I'm
add
ready
a
for
spice.
Salt's not a spice, white girl.
I'm ready
Because
for
it's
conflict.
seasoning.
Oh boy, so we are here for our music series part 2. And everybody's gearing up for the fight that's going to start the episode. I
Yes,
don't.
my country sucks.
Oh my god!
What about
Don't
suck?
just wait. I haven't handed it to you yet. Wait, your turn.
No,
I am
Yes,
still
you listen to the moderator.
she's not my boss.
Yes, she
Anarchy.
technically is now.
You're not my
Okay.
dad.
But just a little bit of information for our listeners. Please go and check out our Let's Be Nerds Instagram. Delaney has been making some memes based on our arguments and some behind the scenes stuff. I believe she'll be posting them from time to time, and they are just I don't even know what to say to describe these. But just some more extra behind the scenes stuff going on for you over there. And with that, I don't know, Delaney, do you want to go on the defense first? I feel like I'm gonna give it to you because you've been good so far.
That's a lie.
The thing is, I don't even have an argument because Gordon's just wrong.
I'm not
Like
wrong,
always.
but it's okay for you to be wrong.
Just wrong.
Okay, so let's structure this argument a little bit more. So are we all in agreement that classic country is good?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's okay.
Okay,
Fair
Dylan,
enough.
you're not here right now. It's okay.
Okay.
Okay, so classic country is good. Modern country, for me, depends on who the artist is, and it's iffy. I have some that I really like and some that I'm just like, I don't know what this is. We're gonna go around the circle and everybody's gonna get a chance to say what they want so we're not all talking over ourselves
Are we
again.
3?
So, Delaney, modern country, how do you feel about it right now?
So like you said, there's like some that I'm okay with and that some that I don't like. But a lot that I've found lately actually have started to sound like old country. I can't think of any names, of course, right now, but if I find them, I'll share them.
Okay.
Because there's some that I could listen to all day long and I feel like I'm listening to classic country.
Okay, fair enough. Steven.
I would say for me the king and queen of country music will always be George Strait, Reba McEntire, and or Dolly Parton. That's like my base level. And then I would say beyond that, beyond that, sorry, can I get a timestamp so I know to edit this part?
Yep.
Okay.
Tell your dad good night.
Yeah. So for me, I would say that my base level is that George Strait and Reba McEntire and or Dolly Parton are the king and queen of country music. Everything in that era up to about 2000, and I'm being generous with this number, 2012. That's probably too high. But late 90s, early country's music was perhaps the peak for me. Then we had certain figures enter the scene that I believe butchered the genre and then revived it only to kill it again. And that would be Luke Bryan. He's one of the main criminals that I have a complaint with. Sorry, Delaney. But yes, so that's my stance on like country music.
Okay, we're gonna circle back to that in a second. Gordon, you're allowed to say at least part of your piece now. Go on.
Am I really? I feel like I'm in third grade with how we're being treated right now, but okay. I mean, I'm having, that's about my mental age, so I should be used to
I was
this.
gonna say you were
Um,
having trouble
You need
spelling
White
stuff
girl.
earlier, so I mean,
we do not talk about behind the scenes acts on camera.
I'll just make a meme about him later.
Exactly. Um, I agree with Steve for the most part. Older country is definitely what I would prefer to listen to over the new country that is borderline pop music or rap music. It's hard to tell because
Mhm.
all the artists are switching back and forth with every other song. Like, I probably shouldn't use that reference because it's inappropriate. Um, it's just switching. Most artists nowadays switch between genres of their music when it comes to country, and you just never know what you're gonna get when you're listening to someone like that. For instance, Taylor Swift. You never know what the next album's gonna come out as. Is it gonna be pop? Is it gonna be country? Is it gonna be some other weird crap that she has no deal with putting out because it's not country? And I know her as a country artist. Don't know about anyone else.
Well, I think she's the exception to the rule. Maybe we'll come back to that one because I
yeah, I
I
was
think
gonna
she
say
pulled it off a little
Yeah,
bit
I
better
like her
there.
music, but still, it's like all this jumping around gets confusing for my small brain.
Not gonna lie, she's number one on my Spotify rap.
I I'm
I'm
gonna
not
pose
surprised.
I'm gonna pose the question that because she did what she did, and she did it, in my opinion, well, I think that all these other like um let's think of who's Florida Georgia Line. Like they
Yeah.
tried to step out of their lane and kind of do what she did and like take on multi genre. And I'm sorry, but you don't have the power that Taylor Swift did, and just because she did it doesn't mean you're able to. So get back in your lane.
I think another really interesting thing that's been happening, Gordon and Stephen, you both kind of touched on this too, this like blending of genres where like country and pop have kind of merged, whereas in the past they were two very distinct genres. Now we almost have this, it's almost a third genre that is kind of like the offspring of those two. And we've had some songs come out of that that, I mean, I personally have enjoyed, but then there have been some other ones that are just odd.
Mhm. What comes to mind is that I liked and I liked this artist until like recently they're kind of satanic or something, and I'm not so sure. But when Little Nas X dug up or went to the trailer park and woke up Billy Ray Cyrus and made the Little Town Road song, like that one for me was okay. I kind of got it, and then everything after that about that weird blended genre, I couldn't get behind.
Now, I do have to say something, and I wish I had some of these songs ready to list off exactly what I was talking about. So Drew does not Drew likes older country music. He doesn't like modern country. He and I happened to stumble across some songs that are in that country rap mix. The actual term that we found that some of the artists were using for it was hick hop, and
Oh,
Yeah.
it's very strange. Some of them in the weirdest way possible. Some of them worked really well. Some of them did not. But there were a few that like I think I had left him in the car while I ran into a store for something. I came back out and he's like, "You have to listen to this." And some of them it was just because he's like, "What the heck are we listening to?" And then others it was because this was actually really good and I don't understand what I'm listening to right now, but you have to like tell me I'm not crazy.
hmm.
If I can come across some of them, I have to see if Spotify will just randomly give them to me again. I will drop them in our chat at some point. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Weird things are going on between several music genres right now, and I don't know how I feel about them.
I agree.
Yeah, music is definitely it's not bad, but it's some of it is definitely getting to the point where it needs to be someone needs to ask them what the hell they're thinking.
It's definitely hit that point of time where they've run out of music and they've run out of new artists doing different things. So they're literally trying every single avenue to make it work, and they just haven't found the right person to make it work.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost at the point where I don't wanna find new music. I'm okay with listening to all my old music and, like, the music that I haven't listened to in a while, and not wanting to find new music.
Well, it's not country, but since we were talking about rap, look at when Run DMC and Aerosmith did Walk This Way as a collab. It put both of them, it put rap and rock and Aerosmith themselves back on the map. That's an
Yeah,
example of a good combo. It's something that worked.
it's just wild to hear those two names together.
It is. I was
Oh
taken
yeah,
aback
but
for a
have you
second.
not listened to their version of the song done together?
Like, one of my favorite.
I don't think I've listened to that version. I'll have to look for it.
Oh.
What?
I don't know. I don't know if I've. You've got me
No,
wondering
well,
now.
you haven't because our father wouldn't let you like go through our music without
No,
no,
he would've made her listen to it.
no, he wouldn't
But like you're talking about like a. Hold on.
have. Look, she's like, I love this.
Now I
But
gotta look it up and figure this out for myself.
Gordon's young, so I give him a pass. Steven,
yes,
but I don't know if I get. Have you heard that version of it, Steven? Run DMC with Aerosmith doing "Walk This Way."
I want to say that I have, but I could be wrong. I know I at least knew about it. I don't know if I've actually heard it, to be honest.
It's their second played song, like, most played song on Spotify,
Wow.
and it is one of my favorites just because of our dad.
And I find it's a good example of two genres and two different artists coming together and actually working together to make a song that works either as a rap song or a rock song. Because there's three different versions of the song. There's the Run DMC only, there's the Aerosmith only, then you put the two of them together and you have one of the best songs ever by either one of them. And I think
Hmm.
that's something country can learn from. I think that's what a lot of genres can learn from is actually working together and not just trying to mash each other together.
Yeah.
Okay, this sounds vaguely familiar now that I listened to it off to the side just a little bit. So I feel like your dad did show it to me, but I was probably just like, I don't understand what's happening right now because I was a little bit.
I'm just gonna
Uh,
make us a Let's Be Nerds playlist where we just put in a bunch of songs that we all listen to.
Okay.
Honestly, that would be fun.
I would
So,
enjoy that.
I think I would too.
okay, I will start working on that once we're done.
okay.
What are we gonna put in for Gordon? The Roblox theme song? I
Probably.
don't know.
I will leave right now. That is disgusting that you'd think I'd play such a garbage game.
So Delaney just
Um,
brought up a good thing for Gordon.
Oh jeez.
So
Based off of the picture that you sent us in Discord earlier today.
um
No, no, no,
would
no,
it
no, 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 no.
have
I don't want to hear it. Nope, I'll leave. I'll
all
end this
whatever.
seen the
recording
Wizard
right
of
now.
Oz, right?
I have the power to end this recording right now, and I will.
Delaney, type it to me in Discord and then I'll say it.
Ugh, it's not gonna
What is
make it
it? You
any.
should know where we're going at this
Wizard of
point.
Oz.
The picture that
Oh,
Gordon sent in Discord.
There's like flying monkeys and something like that.
Just say it. Just say it already.
I don't know what it's called. That's the problem.
I don't know how we explain that to these people listening, and I don't know if I
We're
want
not
to.
going to. We're just
Yeah,
gonna
I
let
we're
it
just
be
gonna
vague
we're
as it
just,
is.
we're just gonna move on from that.
Or
Um. Oh, you know what? I have something that we can kind of segue into a different topic, kind of related to this. So you guys just touched on different artists meshing like together on different songs, like that Aerosmith one with Run DMC. Delaney, I just messaged you a couple days ago on TikTok when I found that Panic at the Disco had covered one of the songs from The Greatest Showman.
When I tell you I screamed when I read that, I screamed, Liza, because I got so excited.
Have
You
you
got
listened to Have you listened to it yet?
Not the whole thing because I saw your text this morning because I got on TikTok
Okay.
this morning. But the funny thing is, I was just listening to The Greatest Showman discography in the car on the way home from your house today.
Uh-huh. So, for our listeners and for the rest of the cast who may or may not know what I'm talking about, how are you guys familiar with the movie The Greatest Showman with Hugh Jackman?
Yes,
yes,
seen it
and
multiple times.
I'm disappointed in you, Liza, that you just discovered the whole they had a whole album of like popular
No,
artists.
I didn't realize. So, like, when I saw the actual cover of it, I realized I had seen it before, but I hadn't looked at it. And when I looked at who was singing what songs, I also realized I've heard Pink's cover of A Million Dreams. I have actually heard several of these.
Okay,
I
okay.
it was not a completely new thing to me, but the fact that Panic at the Disco covered The Greatest Show was
Hmm.
news to me. So that is something like, how do you guys feel about I guess you would call it reimaginings or covers done in either slightly different genres or different styles from the original? Because I feel like that's been happening more often. I've seen it done on musicals a lot, but I've seen it done on older songs as well.
So, do you remember when I introduced you to Jonathan Young?
Yes.
One of the best, probably cover artists on YouTube for Disney songs.
Yes.
That managed to change just about any song. He made a metal harmonious version of Let It Go that I will listen to on repeat until I die.
His version of Poor Unfortunate Souls, though, will forever be my favorite.
That was in like my top 15 songs on my Spotify Wrapped.
Yeah.
I am a huge fan of bands taking songs and recovering them. One of my favorite examples is by Livin' La Vida Loca by Ricky Martin.
Mm-hmm.
Had a kind of punk metal version of it done by the Autumn Kings, which is amazing. We could take a look at Genesis. One of their songs was redone by Disturbed.
Oh
Fantastic.
yeah, that's right.
Um, The Sound of Silence that Disturbed did, that's a redone by another song. Another fantastic one by them. Um,
Do you guys know the song Wagon Wheel by Darius Rucker?
yes,
Yes.
one of
You
my
know
favorite
that's
country artists.
Yes, he's one of my favorite country artists as well. You know, he's not the original singer of that song.
I
Yep.
did not know that.
I didn't know that either.
It is the hang on one second, let me find it. Dylan, you would probably really like this original. It's Old Crow Medicine Show is the original artist for it, and
Oh, okay.
it's more like that twangy old style country more so than the Darius Rucker. Like I love the Darius Rucker version of it.
I love Old Medicine Crow. I love them. They're
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, I really like their version of it. And like I said, that there's, if I'm remembering correctly, theirs is the original. It just has a much different tone to it.
And that's something I like when people do covers on songs. I don't like it. There's been quite a few bands or just cover bands in general that try their hardest to make the song sound exactly as the original artist. And I feel like it loses that touch it has.
Hmm.
The band or the artist needs to take the song and they need to make it their own, but still respect the original song enough. Look at The Rising Sun, House in the Rising Sun. Do we know
Right.
that song?
Yes, good song.
Yeah.
Fantastic song. It's been redone so many times that certain versions start to sound the same, and it's kind of lost its magic, in my opinion.
Well,
I
that
Gotcha.
can agree
reminds me.
with that.
Mm.
Lizette.
Yeah.
So Sam Hunt, do you know his song Cop Car?
I don't think so.
Okay, so it's on his first album. It is a cover. It's Keith Urban's song.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
And they sound similar, but they do definitely sound different. and I love both versions. Like I could listen to them back to back and not be like, I feel like I'm listening to the same thing.
Yeah. And we are also currently in the season of the many, many covers of like 5 holiday songs. And if you work retail, you listen to them on repeat all day long with no choice.
Control my playlist at work.
Me too.
I hate you both. I don't get to choose mine. I'm at the mercy of I don't even know who has control of it. Nobody at my store. Um, but like listening to the same song, just like 5 different covers of it throughout the day, whether it be a holiday song or just a like your average everyday song, it really makes you appreciate the ones who do covers who seem like they actually care about the song and aren't just doing it just to do it, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
They're taking it and making it their own, like I said earlier. They're putting
Yeah.
a little bit of themselves in the song, which is
Mhm.
what really takes and makes a cover so good
Yeah.
compared to, like I said, the basic cover bands that just kind of maybe up the tempo and just kind of sing it and not really feel it.
Yeah.
I tell you my favorite like long form story of somebody that covered somebody else's song and the impact it had. Uh, we all know the Whitney Houston "I Will Always Love You," right?
Yeah.
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 Did you know that Dolly Parton is actually the original writer and singer of that song, and she actually wrote it the same day she wrote the song Jolene?
Yep.
I didn't know
So
that.
I
he,
did not know that.
yes, and her version is a classic. It is great. It is 100% fantastic. But when Whitney Houston starred in that movie with Kevin Costner, I think it was called The Bodyguard. I
Yes.
could be wrong, but
Yeah, that
that's
sounds right.
where she performs it, and then they released it theatrically with the movie, and it just kind of took the world by storm. Um, this is the part I'm unclear about. I don't know if because Dolly Parton originally wrote it, she always got royalties, or if when Whitney Houston passed away in 2012, I believe, she bought the royalties back or the rights back. That part I'm not really clear with. But what I do know is that Dolly Parton was such a huge fan of Whitney's version of the song, and she absolutely loved it. And in the course of the song's lifetime, she had to have always had royalties for this number to make sense. She earned $10 million in royalties off of or being the original writer, essentially. Um, I believe in like 2020, maybe even earlier this year. I can't remember the exact date. Um, Dolly Parton found an area in Nashville, Tennessee, that was predominantly black families that lived there, and I don't think that it's like the best neighborhood. She used the proceeds from the royalties to invest in like essentially like an office complex. So for those of you that don't understand, when you do something like that in a community that's, you know, downtrodden, you raise the property value, and then the area is going to have an increase in tax revenue. So it's a pretty big deal to do something like that because you're kind of elevating the local economy on just like a, you know, a town level, so to speak. And she kind of did it in honor of Whitney. And she said, you know, with everything going on in the world, this was the best way because she'd always loved Nashville. So it kind of just made sense. And she basically did it in like in a way to commemorate Whitney. And that to me is like one of the coolest stories I've ever heard in the music industry.
I remember hearing something about that. I don't know. Dolly Parton is one of those artists that I never hear anything bad about her.
She's
Mhm.
amazing in concert.
I've
Yeah.
heard that. That was definitely one that I wish I could see.
It was a fun concert. Even if we were like in the back, it was so much fun. I would go see her 1,000 times over.
Still haven't been to a concert.
We'll fix that one day, Gordon. We're gonna go see the Who.
Who?
Exactly.
Okay. Like the Doctor?
Oh God.
No, we don't feel good. It's fine.
Oh,
Okay.
who again?
No, we're gonna start a who's on first argument. We're not
Yeah,
doing that.
I don't
So
have the
what's on
time today.
second?
Anyway,
An
Who
argument.
are
It's
we
a
gonna go
discussion.
see?
Steven, do you think this is a good time for an ad read?
I
I have a question for when we come back. Actually,
Okay.
Perfect. I think it's a great segue, Lizette.
All right, we'll be right back. All right, and we are back. So, Dylan, what's your question for us?
oh, I was curious. What is everyone's like favorite subgenre, if we want to call them that, of country music? Really,
Don't know what you're talking about, man.
I didn't expect much from you,
I don't know
Gordon.
subgenres. I just know genres.
Well, if you want me, I can give an example. Personally, for me, if you can call it a subgenre, at least I do. It's that southern twang kind of gothica country that's got a little bit of that hard, old-fashioned rock to it. It
You're
just
talking,
it carries that feeling with it, that kind of like heaviness.
are you talking like Cody Jinks? Like,
Think
what are some artists?
the Dead South.
Okay.
Leonard Skinner.
No, not
Not
that.
that
A
one.
little heavier than
That one
that.
I like. That.
That Leonard Skinner, I don't really know what I would put them as. Where did I set my phone? Leonard's the Dead South, Child White,
Ooh, I do like the Dead South.
Walter Coulter. What do you say?
I like the Dead South.
Yeah, the Dead South. That's a subgenre of country to me. It's like that kind of southern twangy rock, but it still
Okay.
holds that kind of classic country storytelling to it.
Okay.
How about
Like,
Whiskey Myers? Do you guys know any songs by them?
yeah.
Sounds familiar.
It does, but I don't.
They're like they kind of fit with at least the way that you're describing it, Dylan. It might not be quite what you're thinking of, but that would be a subgenre of country that I really like, which to me
Sorry.
kind of also makes me think of that twangy, like I'd expect to see somebody sitting like on the porch of their house, like out in the mountains playing some of these songs. Some of them can be like really sad, so I don't listen to them that often,
Yeah.
but like they are really pretty.
Well, one of my top ones is Coulter Wall. Almost every song of his has that slow kind of that thrumming beat you can almost feel in your heart when you listen to
Okay.
it.
Yep.
Just just takes you, it feels like you're sitting in the middle of a field surrounded by some snowy mountains with a heavy rain and a fog bank rolling in.
Yep.
You can see you can see the man dressed in black waiting for you on the other side. Just that dark southern rock.
I would
Just
have to say
carries
my. I'd have
it
to say
carries
my.
weight. Sorry, Sam.
Yeah. No, it's okay. I just was gonna say, I think that my favorite subgenre, now that I will invest a little bit to figure out where I would fit, would probably be bluegrass. Um, that encompasses, some of Dolly Parton's early work, people like Alison Krauss, Nitty Gritty Dirty Band, um, Osborne Brothers. So I would say that I probably lean more to that side of it, just based on my little research I just did.
That is
Yeah, I like that.
that's also a really good
Yeah.
genre.
Which is like really hard for me though, because when I go to do my own research, it's like I hit every single genre
Mhm.
because that is almost all that I listen to is country since the time I was born to now. So like Western country is really big, like Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson, love,
Mhm.
absolutely love them. But then there's like, where's it at? There is outlaw country with Waylon Jennings. I could listen to that all day long. And then there's me and Lizette, who we like to line dance to pretty much anything that you can line dance to.
Yep.
I I've definitely been aware of your line dancing hobby, and I would like to partake whenever I am down in that region of the world.
Yeah,
Yes.
we'll have to work on that, Delaney. We're gonna have to brush up some of our dances because I've forgotten a lot of them.
And literally, all I really want to do is dance to Cheater Cheater again because that's my favorite line dance ever.
That's also one of the easier ones for people who are learning.
Exactly.
Did she just call you out?
Yeah, I can't dance to save my life as like I cannot sing.
But you
I
can
feel
do
you.
the
I could sing at 3 in the morning in the shower.
Don't you mean cry?
Okay, listen here,
Oh,
Okay.
buddy.
what's
I
the
didn't think Gordon had enough effort into that to take care of himself to shower.
Oh my god.
Lord knows I don't.
What the fuck?
I love you, Gordon.
What have I ever done to any of you?
Do you want the
Steve,
list?
don't answer. The other ones don't have excuses. Or at least as
and
many as you.
on that note, uh,
I'm
Delaney, I
gonna
think you
go
wanted
cry.
In the shower at 3 a.m. Like I said, yes, we got it.
Delaney, do you want to circle back to the Taylor Swift discussion? Because I know you had a lot you wanted to talk about there.
It's a hostile work environment. I am HR? God damn
Yeah.
it.
Oh, you are definitely not HR.
I'm one
Taylor
half of
Swift. And
HR.
I know Steven has a lot to say about Taylor Swift too.
Yes, let's get away from the cyberbullying and let's talk about Taylor Swift.
Thank you.
So, okay, I know a lot of people don't like Taylor Swift, or a lot of people love newer Taylor Swift and hate older, or flip flop, vice versa, whatever. I'm a big fan of both. So I love old Taylor Swift because I they came out and I was like 8 or 9. So I grew up listening to all of that. And then she started releasing some of her newer stuff and I kind of stopped listening as much. I would still listen to like the popular ones just cuz they came on the radio, but they were never like in my playlist. And then Taylor Swift re-released her Red album and I had a like heart attack when it first came out. Like I was texting Lizette and I was like, "You have to listen to this because I'm in tears because I was so excited and it was so good." And then she re-released Fearless and they or sorry, vice versa. She did Fearless and then Red. And I could cry listening to them still just because I have so many good memories of them.
I completely agree. It was a weird renaissance, I guess you could say. Like her, we were talking during the break, like the just hearing the vocal growth, like Dylan pointed out. Um, it's such a good talking point because I I was a fan of the original album. Speak Now was forever my jam, and
Will
then
forever be my favorite.
that is probably the best album in my opinion. But
Yes.
that's not to shit talk Red because Red was really good. But for me, I believe Reputation was next after that, right?
I think so. Let me pull up her
Because
discography.
it went her self-titled, it went no, it went Fearless, then Speak Now, then Red, and
Yeah,
then I
and then
believe Reputation.
1989.
Oh, and that's okay. That's the one where it was the real shakeup. Well, ironically, Shake It Off was really her first foray into pop, and I liked it, but I didn't understand what she was doing at the time.
And
And
never played it.
yeah, and it was like they were force feeding this pop version of her to the point of ad nauseum. It's like almost like the way they shove Adele down your throat on the radio. And love Adele, but the radio stations need to cool it. If I hear that new song one more time, I'm gonna file a lawsuit. Anyway, um, it's so weird to hear like she's circling back and she's getting back to the older stuff, and she's giving more details and the whole social media campaign. I'm gonna tell you when I realized what she was doing and I understood it, and I was like, okay, she's got it like that. She's being everything. She's a businesswoman. She's a branding expert. She's a social media expert, or at least has the right team around her. When she did that pop song, um, uh, oh my gosh, I just had it and now I'm blanking. Oh, you need to calm down. And
Oh
she
yeah.
had and she worked back in the whole like Katy Perry feud thing, and it went like crazy on YouTube. That's when I realized like I kind of better understood her journey. It's like she was breaking out of her box, breaking out of the country music, you know, four walls, and she was building an empire. And she's about branding and marketing, and she wants to be like, she wants to have it all. And I think she's doing it very successfully.
I feel like she could have like her own genre
Hmm.
and everybody would just like agree.
Yeah.
I'd have to agree.
She's done some really interesting collaborations too. Like I love her song that she did with Brendan Urie from Panic at the Disco.
It's on her Lover album.
Yeah. I
That was
remember when
that was a good album. Sorry.
oh, you're good. I remember when that one came out and like I think like it started playing and I didn't know what it was and I didn't know that he was in it. And when it got to the part that he started singing, I think I dropped what I was doing. I was like, wait, wait, what is happening right now?
Mhm.
Because he's forever one of my favorite male singers. And I mean, I think I've already mentioned him like two or three times in this episode alone. Um, but just that collab, and she's done a couple others. She did a song. She was featured on a song with Boys Like Girls, and that was a while ago.
That one, oh yeah, Today Was a Fairy Tale.
Yes.
Actually, no, that so Today Was a Fairy Tale was her own song. Two is better
Oh,
than one is the one.
that's what yeah, sorry.
No, you're fine. But just looking at her, some of the things she's been featured on, different movie soundtracks, stuff like she was in the first Hunger Games movie. She had a song on that soundtrack. Um, she's had songs on several soundtracks, honestly. Like she has, like you said, she has very successfully marketed herself across the music industry, it feels like.
Mhm.
So one of
And
my
I
favorite songs that she will have ever done, because I am a true crime junkie, will be No Body, No Crime. Like that is just the true crime junkie in me that is obsessed with that song and had it memorized in a day.
do you believe any of the conspiracies that it's actually a confession?
Let's not get
'Cause-
into conspiracies today.
okay, all right, all right, all right.
Is that the lady
Uh,
keeping us on track?
I
Question
have to,
mark?
because if we go into conspiracies, we're spiraling.
yes, well, we are due for another conspiracy episode for the general note. Uh, I think that what I love about it is like um, recently, I think it was this summer that Olivia Rodrigo blew up, and like it was funny for me because there's so many people that were like, he's like the next Taylor Swift, and I'm like, what, we don't have to replace anybody. Like what Taylor Swift did was she broke down boundaries and broke down walls. And I'm not gonna lie, I think Olivia Rodrigo has a lot of talent, and I see the comparison and like how she wrote her album is kind of a similar storytelling way of love and breakups and all the stuff that Taylor did. And it's almost like Taylor ran or Taylor walked so Olivia could run. And I'm excited to see that like genre. Like there's a new girl on TikTok, her name's Lauren Weintraub, and she's kind of blowing up in that same way. And I like that. I like that Taylor kind of paved the path for these independent female singers to really just go out there and make what they love and not have to fit into a box, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Does anybody else have anything they want to add to this, or are we gonna move on?
I say move on. I don't listen to much country anymore.
Okay, well, I guess we'll use the fact that Taylor Swift kind of dabbled into the pop genre to jump to the next artist that I wanted to talk about today. Um, so the date that this particular episode airs should be December 10th, which should also coincide with the date of Andy Grammer's new song dropping. And let me just real quick pull up what that title is.
My boy Andy Grammer.
I'm pretty sure it's called Love Myself, but I just want to make sure that I have that right. I don't know. I saw it on Facebook earlier this week and I was like, why did I not know that this was coming out? So, first and foremost, the main songs that I wanted to talk about with Andy Grammer, have you guys listened to the last two that he released?
Probably not.
All right,
Oh,
so
I
it's
don't listen to it often.
Damn It Feels Good to Be Me is one, and then the other one was Lease on Life. And if I remember the things that the posts and stuff that I read from him, I believe he wrote both of them during lockdown for COVID. And like he said, he was doing a lot of self-reflection and, working on some self-growth. And one thing that I really, really love about his music, and it's ironic to me the timing that he releases a lot of his songs, I found recently, they really resonate with me personally. And it almost feels like he drops them in a time that is really relevant for me. So the lyrics to Damn It Feels Good to Be Me, if you guys haven't listened to it, I think I dropped it in our music episodes thread that we have on Discord. But basically, it's just him talking about how he spent so much time kind of trying to fit into the box of what he thought he should be and trying to be like everybody else. And he's finally realized that, just being himself, being who he is better than trying to follow any rules that he thought he had to follow. And like he mentions, where's the line? He mentions something about spending like years trying to be somebody else, and that just really hit hard for me personally because like um anybody who knows anything about stuff that I've been dealing with for like the past 5-ish years, I would say, um I kind of sat down one day and realized I didn't really like the person that I was, the person that I was becoming or headed towards becoming, and decided to take the time to actually change and become someone that I was actually proud to be. And around the time that this song released was kind of around the time that I finally felt like had succeeded in becoming the person that I wanted to be, if that makes sense.
it definitely does. It's
So, oh, go on.
no, I was just gonna say it's so what you're saying is the lyrics and the music resonate with you because it coincides with essentially milestones in your personal growth and in your life that it, it's not a, I don't believe in coincidence. It's like it happened for a reason that those songs came out at those definitive points.
Yeah, and I mean, Steven, you even brought up, so you introduced me to a song of his, and this is one that I definitely recommend our listeners check out if they want to. It's a beautiful song. It's called She'd Say. The release date for that was August 2nd of 2019, which was exactly 2 months before my mom passed away. And the story behind that song, he wrote it for his daughter about his mother who had passed away, saying, like, all the things that his mom would say to his daughter. But the lyrics of that, when you showed it to me, you knew it was something that I needed to hear, listening to it more in a sense of like if my mom had been speaking to me.
Mhm.
And it's definitely a song that I go back to frequently whenever I need to work through either some emotions that I have going on about that loss or what have you. It's a song that I've shared with a very good friend of mine who lost her mother about a year ago, and it resonated with her on a completely different level because she had had her first child, and I remember her coming back to me after I told her to listen to it and saying, like, you, like, I hadn't even realized how much it would resonate with her in a different way than it did with me. So his music in general, all of his songs just hit different for me.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um,
oh,
can I tell you? I'm sorry. Can I tell you the
yeah,
story of how? And maybe I have told you like how I came across the song and like why like I brought it to you. Like, can I tell that part?
yeah, absolutely.
So, I've followed Andy Grammer for quite a while. I liked his openness. I liked his candor. Gosh, I can't speak tonight. He talks about have what it's like to have massive hits and then to fall off and then to have another hit and then to fall off again. He's very open with like he's a hit maker, but he like essentially was in that phase of his life where he was trying to pretend to be something that he wasn't, and like so sometimes he'd pop off, sometimes he wouldn't. It was like not really authentic, I guess is the best word.
Hmm.
And I've always been drawn to him because I think he's a very real musician, and it's hard to find that like line between still a human and like a pop star.
Yeah.
Um, so I've tried to follow most of his work. I have to say I have dropped the ball with the recent singles, so I'm kind of a hypocrite. But that album came out, and it was phenomenal. I was watching every video, watching every release. I believe it was all released on YouTube at the time, collectively. And when I came across the She'd Say, for those of you listening, it's she's he partners with Ladysmith Black Mambazo, and they're extremely talented and extremely underappreciated for this the content that they produce. Um, so it's this beautiful beat and it's this beautiful lyrics. Essentially, why it resonated with me is I no longer have my grandparents with us. And it wasn't so much about me because I felt like I know them. I can live with the memories and the good times and it still hurts. But as an uncle, I see my niece and nephew that never met my grandma Anne or my grandma Rose. And I'm not gonna lie, like it actually made me realize like right now my niece and nephew are blessed. They have my mom. They have two other grandma, my brother's mom, and they have my sister-in-law's mom. And honestly, could not ask for three better grandmas for two little children. Like it's beautiful. But it kind of made me sad because I'm like, well, those ladies are great. Don't get me wrong, I love them. But like they'll never know Grandma Ann and Grandma Rose. And so like when that song hit me, I was like, well, this is my mission. I'm going to always, respect the grandmas that they have here on earth, but it's like it's my job to tell the stories of Anne and Rose and make them know them. So that's why it made it emotional for me. I sent it to as many people as I could, and then I was with a lit friend of mine. Well, quite honestly, her name was Shannon, and I was madly secretly in love with her. And she was dealing with the loss of her mom, and it had been a few years. And she has a daughter, and I shared it with her, and I saw the emotional response that it was a song of healing and it was a song of power, and she needed that in that moment. And then when I witnessed that, and then Liza, when you went through losing your mom,
Hmm.
I knew the lyrically it wouldn't make actual sense, but I knew that having seen the value it had with me, with my friend, I was like, this is one of those songs that it's meant to heal. And it's meant to, even if you sad cry during listening to it, you're still healing,
Oh,
if that makes sense.
yeah, it's just like the music is very beautiful and it's very comforting, and the lyrics are very comforting, and you can just tell how much love was poured into that song. And like it makes me cry every time I listen to it. A little bit of a story from not the last time I listened to it, but the first time that Drew got to hear it, honestly, we were on our way up to visit you guys, and my phone was just like on Spotify just playing random songs, and that song started, and it has like a vocalizing chorus at the beginning. Um, and I recognized it as soon as it came on, and I was like, no, no, I don't want to listen to this right now. I don't want to cry right now because I was driving, and
Yeah.
Drew's looking at me like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, and I'm trying to like hit the button on my phone to skip the song, and my phone locked up, and it wasn't responding, and I couldn't skip it, and I'm like panicking trying to hit this button, and he is like, hold on, like tell me what's going on, and he like took my phone, he's like, I'll change it, but he didn't get to it fast enough, and like once the first stanza started, once Andy Grammer started singing, I'm like, stop. He's like, what do you mean? I'm gonna change. I'm like, no, stop, it's too late, let it
Yeah.
play. And I just kind of locked into driving so that I didn't get like super upset, and he's sitting there looking at me like he didn't know what was coming. And as he was listening to it, like once it was done, and like I had tears running down my face the whole time, once it was done, he just looked at me. He's like, that song almost made me cry. He's like, not even for the fact that you were crying, just like listening to it. He's like, wow.
Mhm.
Um, and it just, but it made me feel better. Like it let out that little bit of emotions that I needed to get out, because the day that I was coming up, that played was one day before the 2-year anniversary of her passing away.
Yeah. Which I'm
And
so glad you were here for that weekend.
it definitely helped.
Yeah.
Um, but it's like that's kind of part of why I wanted to do this music series with you guys, just because music can be so good for healing and helping us to sort through emotions or kind of process emotions, or sometimes it gives you words to explain something that you can't quite get out yourself.
Mhm.
Um, just to kind of continue on this very sad topic, just a little bit longer. My sister and I recently had a conversation where I brought this song up to her. I don't know if she's listened to it yet, but she turned around and she gave me the song that resonates with her. And she's like, it doesn't, again, it's one that doesn't necessarily make sense in the context of what we've been through, but Maddie and Tay's song Die of a Broken Heart, that was one of her kind of go-to songs when she needed to cry and she wanted to kind of listen to something that would kind of make her feel a little bit better, let her process her emotions, because that's a song about a girl going to her mother for comfort.
Mm.
And she told me, she's like, this is my song. And then of course she proceeded to text me all night long, did you listen to it yet, did you listen to it yet? I'm like, no child, I haven't gotten to it yet. I was trying to stop being sad after our conversation, but okay, I will go listen to your sad song.
Sad boy hours, sad girl hours. Yeah.
What time?
um
Um, can I share another? Since we're like, I feel like we're getting into the emotional territory, and I want to share one other song that
yeah,
it's not Andy Grammer, but I don't know how to frame this, so I'm going to do the best I can, and please trust me when I say I mean no disrespect. Um, so the series of events prior to, and I feel awful because I'm blanking in the moment. I can't remember if this happened before your mom's passing or after. I want to say before, because I feel like
mhm,
it was all in the same year. My childhood best friend, Britton Long, beautiful, beautiful soul, got me through early development. Um, her mom was in. My mom was actually at her wedding before my mom even knew my dad. So they were friends, and then Britton and I and her brother Jake, essentially we grew up together. Mary, her mom, battled MS all of her life, and it would be peaks and valleys of health and then deterioration in health. And unfortunately, Mary lost her battle, and I believe it was earlier the same year,
mhm,
if not before that. And I hate to sound selfish when I say this because it's like you watch everything else around you happen and you see what it does, like to watch Britain go through the grieving process, and then to watch you and Shannon and different people that have lost this very significant person. um I guess selfishly, it made me take like stock or inventory on the fact that people may find it funny or whatever, but like my mom is truly my best friend. And I think in a greedy way, having witnessed this, it's made me appreciate my time with her. And there's a song by Ed Sheeran called Supermarket Flowers. And when I first heard it, it was after Britton's mom had passed away. And it's
Mhm.
going to sound selfish, but it's essentially Ed's love letter to losing his mom. And I will tell you without a doubt, that is a song that if it played right now, I'd be crying.
Oh yeah,
And
I mhm.
are you familiar with it?
So the friend that I mentioned that I showed the Andy Grammer song to, who lost her mother not quite a year ago, she and I also traded songs. So I gave her the Andy Grammer song. She gave me the Ed Sheeran song. She told me, she's like, "Don't listen to this unless you want to ugly cry."
Yeah.
And
And
I proceeded to go home and put together a dresser and bawl my eyes out. So
and I think that speaks to the larger power of music. Like, you know, for me and Gordon, and I actually owe like a thank you to you for this because it, we're all really busy now. Like we all have real full-time jobs and we are trying to make this podcast happen and the YouTube situation happen. And we're trying to like be everything at once and really come into our own. And it's a lot. And it's sometimes you can feel bogged down. And especially like when you take like, cause everybody here is taking on more roles and different things. And it makes you realize that like the power of one song will make me realize that like you have to make time for certain things or people, like in specific individuals, or I don't know. It just speaks to the power of music and the power of lyrics at large because it's so easy to get caught up in the rat race. And like, even with this podcast, sometimes it's like, okay, well, we start recording and we go and blah, blah, blah. Well, we also need to remember to come up for air and enjoy the time that we have together doing this and not have it always be all business all the time. If you know what I mean, like, it makes you look at the grand
yeah,
scheme of things, I guess. And music's incredible. I'm going to stop my rant because I feel like I'm going nowhere, but I think you guys get what I'm saying.
I'm waiting for one of the others to chime in because you and I've been talking a lot.
Yeah, this is just me and you giving each other therapy at this point.
It's fine. It's fine. Are the others still awake?
Yes,
Yes,
I
we're
I
still
am.
awake.
I'm still here.
Delaney, did I make you cry?
You pretty darn close. The good thing we're not in the same room, or else we both would be ugly crying.
Yeah. Um, but no, Steven, I think you put that very well. It is a hard concept to put into words, but I think we all understood what you meant.
And I realized that I did derail. I was trying to give Gordon credit for something he did. I was driving to work one day and I realized Supermarket Flowers played and I essentially like went to him and I don't think he realized that I was emotionally like rattled before like getting there. Or maybe I waited to talk to him about it, but I essentially was like, listen, Sundays, no matter if my mom works or not, she's off at 3 at the worst. I was like, can I please like have that be my day off so that I know like one day a week I can at least devote an hour to sitting down, having a coffee with her, having a beer with her, and just having in all of the rat race we're in, make that happen. And he didn't even ask twice. He went directly to the owner of the restaurant and like made it happen. And like, so shout out Gordon because you'll that meant a lot to me.
I like my Sunday work, and I'm happy to know that it has helped you in more than just wanting Sundays off.
Yeah, it was really emotional, and I don't know if you understood that, so I really appreciate you doing that for me.
My social cues are fucking garbage, so no, I did not.
What did you say?
My social cues are garbage. I did not understand.
Well, it's appreciated nonetheless. Anyway, so I realized that I like kind of said that and didn't close that point. But yeah, so music's powerful and we love it. We support music on this podcast. The most basic general statement ever.
Um, yeah, I think On that note, I think we've kind of closed out our discussion for the night. So you wanted to touch on the fact that everybody's kind of taken on some new roles, one person in particular, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like everything is looking up. Let's let's segue out of this sad
Even the
little
person we're about to
situation.
talk to about
What?
looking up. She has
Yeah.
to look up a lot.
Wow.
Oh wow, that was a height joke. Okay.
Yeah,
All
she
right.
Yeah, yeah, because she's short.
with her just being guarded.
Okay. So I guess again, speaking to what we were talking, what I was, blabbering about as far as the rat race of it all. Delaney, who was hesitant to appear on the podcast in the beginning, has, now uh, become a frequent contributor and has stepped into a new role. We are trying to grow the podcast, trying to grow our social media presence, and we originally had the OG host, Kylie, who is one of the best, top notch, in a position of social media manager. Kylie, of course, is at the age where she is fully invested in pursuing her career and the just becoming the woman that I know she will be and that she deserves to be. And we're super proud of her for all of her hard work. And she is a welcomed person on this show. She is amazing. Quite honestly, if it wasn't for her being on my ass, I don't know if Let's Be Nerds would have even started. But with that being said, again, the rat race. Kylie has a lot of really good things happening, not just with school, but with her personal life. So, being a contributor on the show, aside from just an occasional guest appearance when she is on break, is about the level that she can commit. And I totally understand. And I'm just so happy for her that it's all good stuff. So, with that being said, the social media management of it all sort of fell on me. And quite frankly, I am old and I don't like
Me
Instagram.
too.
And so, Miss Delaney, you have really shined on this podcast as a guest and as now a co host. And so, you have stepped into the role of social media manager. You are now running the Instagram page and really promoting. You have a lot of incredible ideas that you're bringing to the table. We've already, in a few days, seen what you're able to do. And so I first want to thank you and say I appreciate you taking this off my plate and really just enjoying this role. But I want to ask you, like, what made you say yes? What made, like, because I know you had a little bit of experience with it, but like, what made you say yes to taking the position?
So first off, you're gonna make me cry.
Well, I don't want to do that.
Thank you. Um, but I don't know. I guess it's just something that I've always liked is just being able to post all the time about something that I'm passionate about and that I know my family is passionate about. So like pretty much anything to help you guys, I love.
Oh,
So
you're
which
so
is
sweet.
really funny because as we're doing this, you know how we talked about making a playlist?
Hmm.
I may have one started that already has 2 hours worth of songs on it.
I love it. I just love how excited you are about this element because for anybody listening, like, social media side of podcasting is so important. And I know this, I'm aware of it. I'm just, it stresses me out and I'm not good at it. And so, like, the fact that you're good at it and you like to do it and you're excited about it, I feel like it's going to be bringing us to the next level that I think our show is growing to. Um, let me, I got to ask, what is your favorite social media platform to work on?
Um, Probably Instagram, just
Okay.
because it's easy to navigate for everybody. And like I love posting on the story because then I can also add it as our highlights. So they come up on our account. So like everybody can see them all the time. So like all of our important bulletins, that's I can put them there. And it's just like I have a lot of creativity like aspects that I can do in there.
I noticed the stories that were pinned already today, and I was like, "Holy cow! I totally forgot Instagram had that feature because I'm old."
You still use Twitter, so I mean,
I don't. I just have it to like look up information. I think Gordon posts. I think Gordon, you post some links to some episodes, but like we really, our Twitter presence is crap.
Yeah, we
It's
don't
okay.
use Twitter.
It's a hellscape of an app. Like it's just so mean and negative. I'm like, I mean, I know we're gonna eventually get hate comments, and trust me, I got a lot on a YouTube video, so I know what that's like to be like basically canceled by a religious cult. But it's just a lot on Twitter where I just don't think it's like there's not a lot of positivity. Aside from getting our name got retweeted by the wonderful Bethany Frankel, which was incredible, and I didn't sleep all night. Um, aside from that, that was like the only good Twitter experience I've ever had. What's your thoughts on Twitter, Delaney?
Twitter is a very interesting place.
Hellscape.
Yeah, it's interesting. But if you get to the right side of Twitter, it can be very like not uplift. That's not the word I'm looking for, but I guess uplifting because you can get the people that'll retweet, and yes, maybe they'll say something bad, but they still retweeted. All their followers are still seeing it.
Engagement is engagement.
Exactly. I mean, you're gonna get hate comments like you said. So at least if somebody publicly does it, we're in the public's eye.
That is true. That is true. My favorite, I've gotten so many good hate comments on YouTube though. Like I don't have my face in my video, it's only in my profile picture because I'm trying to do the commentary side of things. And somebody said that I have a big nose and a nasally voice, and I was like, you know what? You're not wrong, sir. The joke's funny, but you gotta stop it. I don't know. Social media is tough. Like it's a lot of but for the most part, the Let's Be Nerds people that we interact with are super cool. It's very like small at the time, and I really like that. I like the engagement and the interaction that we have right now. So anyway, for those of you listening, go follow us on Instagram at Let's Be Nerds Pod. See some of the cool stuff Delaney's working on. Interact. I mean, it's already 100% more interactive than when I was doing it. It's you can participate in like topic suggestions. We're going to have Delaney's preparing a meet the cast where we will be essentially introducing ourselves for those of you that don't know us personally or are new to the show. Definitely a lot of exciting things happening over on the gram. I feel old saying the gram. Anyway, so to wrap things up today, first of all, as always, we have to thank Anchor. Without them, this podcast would not be possible. I already plugged our Instagram ad nauseum, so also go join our Discord. We are building a community. We have a lot of memes. We have a lot of fun stuff. I think what's happening with this show is a lot of it is happening on Discord while we're recording. So if you're enjoying it, come over and join in because you'll be able to reference some of the material, but we'll try to include them on Instagram and have a reference point there. But really, the action is also at Discord and in the server. So we hope to see you there. And we are doing a New Year's Eve special. You're going to hear a little bit more details after I'm done talking. We're going to basically be doing a Spotify Green Room live recording on New Year's Eve from 10:30 well into the new year. It's going to serve as the season 1 finale. At this point, it should be episode 35, and it's going to give us a chance to not only record our show all together, but people that are listening are going to be able to ask to speak and leave comments in the chat. And I think it's going to be a really cool experience. It's going to be all of us that were here tonight, Bob, Carmen, hopefully Demetrius, Drew. It's going to be pretty fun. So please consider downloading the Green Room app and joining us for that live event. You'll actually be able to find the link to join the live recording on our Instagram at the time. And we also want to say that we are pleased to announce that we have a partnership with Audible. It's basically a 30-day free trial. We really love the Audible app here on the show, and it's now live. If you go to the Let's Be Nerds Instagram, you can find the link in the bio. Please have a 30-day free trial on us. See if Audible fits for your life, for your schedule. I know it's really been a benefit to me, and we're happy to show our support to a wonderful service like that. And with that being said, I think that's all we got for today. So we will see you in the next one. Gordon, Lizette, are you guys as excited about the New Year's Eve special as I am?
You know it, Steve.
I mean, I know me and Drew are excited. We're both going to be there. And I think, Dylan, you're going to be there too, aren't you?
You bet your shiny gold buttons I'll be there.
Guys, do you know who else? Carmen, you are coming. I'm so excited.
Yeah, me and Bobby wouldn't miss it for the world.
So this is going to be our first time doing a live event, and people that are listening can actually come in, join the chat. They can join in on a microphone or through text chat, and they can actually be a part of it. This is like the best way to end season 1.
I lost my left shoe thinking about it.
Did it knock your socks off?
No, I didn't even have those on in the first place, so just a shoe.
Just a shoe.
What time is this going to start at?
So we're looking at, because obviously we have to celebrate midnight. So we're thinking around 10 or 10:30. We're going to have more details to follow. So this is really important. If you want to be a part of our New Year's Eve special, you have to get on Discord or Reddit. You have to be a part of the community to be on. I can't explain how excited I am for us to be live. We're going to take your chats. You can join in on the call. Tell us what you like about the show, what you don't like. This is going to be the most interactive we've ever been with anybody. It's so exciting. But, Gordon, do you know what the real thing is? Is they have to have green room. Can you tell them about green room?
You have to have green room. Green room is a lovely addition to Spotify where we are able to go live and just be able to record with all of you guys listening in. You guys can ask to speak with us. You can join us. You can join in the live chat throughout the whole thing. We can bring you on so you can share your opinion on our podcast or just your opinion on some random BS like we love to do on our podcast and just chill with us all night.
And Lizette, do you know what the best part is?
What's
If
that?
are you a listener to Spotify?
Yes.
If you have a Spotify account, you can just download the Green Room app and immediately create an account. How easy is that?
Oh, okay. So it just ties into the account that you already have for Spotify.
Exactly. It's perfect. It's going to be like a 2-second download process and then a 2-second sign-in process.
Okay.
Carmen, I don't know about you, but I would really think that it'd be cool if some of our listeners would like either join in on the voice chat or through text and tell us New Year's resolutions. Are you big on New Year's resolutions?
Not so much on resolutions, but I just love being with friends and family, and I think it would be a great time to have more of our friends and family who are listening be a part of this so that we get to hear from everybody. And what's a better way than celebrating the new year than to start off with a group of friends that are all on the same page?
Exactly. Dylan, I can't wait. Are you excited?
I am. Like I said, I lost my left shoe, and I think the cat took the right.
Oh my gosh.
I should hopefully find it in time. If not, like you said, I can join through Reddit or I can join through the Discord.
I can't wait. Well, I will see you guys all there, and everybody listening, we hope to have you be a part of our special night. It's the season 1 finale. If you're enjoying the Let's Be Nerds podcast, please come join us, and let's kick off the new year together and safely, in social distance, and just kind of be a part of a group where everybody's welcome and everybody's accepted. Hope to see you there. Let's Be Nerds is hosted and executive produced by Gordon Bryant and me, Stephen J. McLean. Let's Be Nerds is a production of Speak Easily Productions. Our social media manager is Kylie Gregg. Our managing producer and co-host is Lizette Ayala. Today's guest host was Robert Van Jacobs. You can follow him on all social media platforms at Bobby Dub Music. To keep up with the latest on Let's Be Nerds, join our Discord server linked in the description box below. Follow us on Instagram at Let's Be Nerds Pod or find us on Twitter at Let's the Letter B Nerds.